Good day everyone, my name is Ogo from CryGIS. Since you all know that every Wednesday we try to upload an educative tutorial for the purpose of you, our subscribers, to learn a new thing, and for the purpose of you that really like learning to also exploit from what we're going to do. Then I suggest to you, my friends, that you can also refer our YouTube channel to some of your friends, and don't be a selfish person so that you shouldn't be like you'll be the only person that will gain from the educative lecture. On today's lecture, we'll be talking on how to use dimension in AutoCAD. I'm very sure majority of you might be wondering that I've been talking mainly on AutoCAD. The reason why is that as an GIS expert or GIS learner, I will advise you for you to be more effective and efficient using your GIS software. I will advise you to perfect your CAD software. Then by you perfecting your CAD software is when that's why I know AutoCAD is one of the most famous drafting software in world, and that's why I'm not using AutoCAD I'm emphasizing more on AutoCAD, so that by the time we'll be trying to be going to the GIS software, you people won't be finding it difficult, because even let me lie for you, the more if you can try and know how to use AutoCAD well, then for you to modify on any GIS software, it to be easier for you. However, for even in 3D modeling software also to be easier for you. That's the reason why I'll be talking mainly on how to use AutoCAD software. But like I said, today we'll be discussing on how to use dimension in AutoCAD. Then let us get started. I'm going to launch my AutoCAD software now. It's launched. It has finished launching. Then as you can see, the interface of AutoCAD software now. But what we're going to do is that I will advise you, maybe you should try and load any work that you have already done, or you might try to go and create an environment, or you must start afresh. But from this work now, I won't be creating any environment. I will be launching in one of my files that I've already created in AutoCAD. Then open, and let me go to Shijado is the name of my friend. It's launching. As you can see now, it's on this AutoCAD environment. I have different type of building plan, dumb building plan, but we're not going to be using this. We're not going to be using it. Let me start from creating a new environment, so that to me, like what I'm doing an abstraction tool, because I already set it. That's the reason why I prefer to use one of my friend names, so that for me not to stop you from confusing. Then that's why I'm now trying to use a new environment now. And then as you all know how to set AutoCAD environment initially, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm using an military AutoCAD environment. That's the reason why I prefer to set, because I'll be working with millimeter. Now yes, I've already finished setting my environment now. Then what am I going to do now is that, like I said, we'll be talking about how to use dimension in AutoCAD. Then let us get started now. For you now, if you are using drafting and annotation interface, the working space of AutoCAD if your working space of AutoCAD is drafting and annotation, this is what you'll be seeing. You'll be seeing the same arrangement like the one I had here. But like now, what am I going to do now? For you now to get started, just click on this annotation symbol. You can see this annotation symbol. Click on it. Then you can see this dimension style. You can see from here we have text style, dimension style, then the multi-leader style, and this one is the table style. But what we need now, like we're talking about, going to be this kind of dimension style. Yes, from this dimension style now to bring out a dialog. Once you bring out this dialog, what you are now going to do is just to, one thing about this AutoCAD environment is that, AutoCAD software is that for you now to create dimension now, it has already have its own default setting. Then its own default setting is called standard. Then what we're now going to do is that we will make sure that we click on this standard one, and once you click on it now, ensure that you now select on new. Then once you click on this new now, this new is going to replicate what we have this standard, because it's going to use the configuration of this standard dimension. Then once you click on new now, then you will have the ability to change the name of this previous one, because initially if you check now, you can see copy of the standard, because we are copied from the default dimension setting. Then you just have to name it. Now I would prefer to name this thing Shesa. Then once you do that one now, then what you are now going to do is that I will advise you to click on, if you click on this, because you will select an annotation on standard, but I will prefer on the standard. Then once you click on the standard, then click on continue. Once you click on continue, it's going to bring another, it's bringing out a dialog for you. Then once you bring out a dialog for you, now you can see it here now. You can see, if you check here, you see lines, you see symbols and arrows, text, fix, parameter units, alternate units, and tolerance. What you are seeing here is the setting for your dimension, but each of these setting has its own function. Okay, as you are making any impact on this, any effect on this interface, it will be affecting your dimension on the AutoCAD environment. Then what I'm going to tell you now, that on this color, then I've already explained how to set a layer. Then I've already also explained the importance of layer to every one of you. Layer is more important thing, because we won't be selecting on by block. We'll be using by layer, because we'll be imagining that we're working with layers on AutoCAD. The last now we'll be selecting on layer. I've selected on my layer. Then under my my line type, I also select on layer, because as you are selecting on layer, any effect you make when you are creating a layer, then if you create a layer of dimension, it will automatically infect your dimension. But if you leave it on the block, you need to be selecting it individually now for you to make changes. But however, based on selecting layer now, it will be easier for you. You don't need to be selecting individually. What you just have to do is change the layer, and the thing change automatically. Then on the line width, I'll be selecting on the tab by layer. Ensure that what you will be selecting under these dimension lines now, let's just be on layer. Then also from here, this one now, the extension line is the line that's projected from here to here. Then and this one is the dimension line, as you are seeing. And this is the dimension line. The dimension line is the line that shows the extent of the object you are trying to measure. Then if you now do on this now, then based on this now, you can try and change this extension line to by layer, so that, or if you wish also, you might wish to change it to any color you wish. Then the type of the extension line, you just look if you like this kind of this type of extension line, then click on it. Then if you don't like this kind of, just click on other, so that you bring out other type of extension line. Then if you feel that those ones that are here are so limited, click on load, so that you'll be able to see other line for you to use. And then however, since I'll be using a continuous line is that is continue. That is a continuous line. Now I'll click on the continuous line. Then on my line type, extension line 2, which is this one, I also click on continuous line. Then you might wish to change the line width, but I would prefer to leave it. You might wish just try, and you can go around with it, so that by you checking the line width and see what kind of effect it's going to make. But I'll prefer, because I would like it to be on a by layer. Then once you do that one, then you can see the subtraction to suppress the extent the first layer. If you click on this now, one of these line will go. Can you see now? You see? Then if you click on the second one now, another one will go. But since we'll be projecting line, that's the reason we need to on it, so that we can use it, and so that our dimension will be more reasonable and look beautiful. Then also now, then if you are done with this, you can set the extent beyond the dimension line. Like now, then the distance from the primary point to where you want it to go. Then we can extend it beyond the dimension line. Once you finish setting this extension line, then you will now go to the symbols and arrow. Under the symbol and arrow, you can see the arrow X. The arrow here now is the type of how the edge of the of your projection line will look like. For example, now you can see that the first one, you can see, just choose anyone you like. If you like an arrow like look like it fill with something, fill with colors, you can click. If you like those one that doesn't fill with color, and it doesn't fill with color, just go for it. Then if you also wish to just try and move around with it, then as you are selecting the first one, the second one will be changing. Then let's now say the ladder, the one that's, then if you now click on the ladder one, select on the previous one that you like. If you're going to use an architectural tick or oblique, just click on the one you wish there. Then once you do that one now, then make sure that you set the head of the arrow. The head of the arrow is the size, how the arrow head is going to look like. Then once you do that one, just what you're going to do now, what's our best to do is just put any dimension. Just try and look back, because we are working with limiter. Now what we're going to do, let me say 75 mm. And once you put this 75 mm, then from here now, if you go to this side, because you see the arc length symbol presiding dimension text above the dimension text, once you click on all these things, this instruction now, it has an effect on it. However, then let me say we have already set we are done with these symbols and arrow here. Then what we're not going to do now is now go to the text. Going to this text now, this is where you're going to manipulate the kind of lettering you want your dimension to look like. Like now, for you now to get this done now, what you can do now is by click on this small box that is here. Because if you select here now, you'll be able to access a lot of options on how to select the text style. Then click on it. Once you click on this, it's bring out a dialog for you. Then once you bring out a dialog for you, now you can see it here now. Now is either you create a new one, but it's just the way we started from at the beginning of this dimension, creating of the dimension. You maintain this dimension, and this time that once you click on new, you can name it to maybe diamond. You can name it to what you diamond 1 or anything you like. Once you do that one, just name it, the thing change automatically. Another the font name, look here now, scroll down and select the preferable one you like. So you might try to prefer Time Roman, Comics, anyone you like. Then like now, let me go with this. This is Comics Stance MS. Then once you go on this one, then which kind of the font style do you like? Is this regular or bold, whatever? I prefer it to be in the regular form. Then the height. This height you are seeing here determine the size of the of your font. Then like I said, we will be working with millimeter. Then I would prefer to set this thing in 150 millimeter. This 150 millimeter. Then if you can still come back here and check if this thing here, if this thing is smaller or bigger, you can still come here to manipulate it. Once you just do this one now, then what you're not going to play is just press apply. Once you apply, close. Once you close, automatically you don't need to select, you don't need to make any adjustment or selecting the height here, because we have already done it there before. Because the same thing that we did here is what we're going to do here also. Understand? Then what we're not going to do now, forget about this and just go to this text placement. Under the text placement, I will now tell you to let's say if you the vertical we put on vertical on the vertical side, will you put it to be in center? If you don't want it to be, just select those one you need there. Then I'll prefer it to be at the center, at the vertical side, and the horizontal side will also be at the center. Then I will be preferring to view the direction from the left to the right. I mean the starting point of my lettering or the dimension will start from the left, counting from the left to the right. Then if you also wish to be starting from the right to the left, just choose anyone you like there. Once you do that one, then how always do you want it to be horizontally, or do you want it to be so standard? But I will always like it to be aligned with the dimension line. Once you click on the align on the dimension line, press OK. Press OK. Once you press OK, then it's going to go back to this. But we are not yet done with our setting. What we are not going to do is that we still click on to modify because we are still selecting on Chesson. We are not yet completed what we are doing. Remember that we stop at this task. You see, come to this dimension style and click on this. The first one that we created, which I said the dimension. Then now, as you see now, you can see the thing have automatically changed by itself. Then we now come to the fix. As it is here, I will advise you to maintain the present default. You don't need to make any changes here. Just leave it the way it is. Yes. Then let's now go to the primary unit. The primary unit. Then if you can remember when I was trying to explain something concerning how to set an environment in AutoCAD, there's a play where I tried to explain the unit in AutoCAD. Then if you like to want to be, you can just come here and select your kind of standard, the unit format you watch. You might wish to be in the scientific or the engineering or the architecture, because I'm working with the millimeter not in decimal. Then on decimal now, it give us other options, so that it will give us a rational unit. Then now I'm under my precision, and I'll prefer it to be on a single unit because I'll be working with millimeter, and then I won't like to have any added after the whole number. That's the reason why. Then under this one, then this prefix, I'm very sure most of you might have heard about the prefix and suffix. A prefix is the number added to the beginning of any number, or and suffix is an integer added at the end of each object. You know that thing. Let me say that. Then let me now we will be working with millimeter. Then let me just put mm because millimeter. Then I'll be because I won't be using it as a prefix, because prefix means at the beginning, while suffix means at the end. Then I'll be using millimeter. Then I'll prefer it to be this way. Then the alternatives. Under this alternative unit, but if you don't need it, you just leave it and go to the tolerance. Under the tolerance, you don't need it. Then if you try and check here, look here very well, you see that all the like here now. Let me go to this primary unit. If you see, as we added millimeter then it automatically added it by itself. That's what we're trying to talk about. Then if you try and see here now, if you see that the head of the arrow is too small, then you might also wish to go back to the head of arrow and change it to the let me say change this to 150. When you press 150, press OK. You see now the thing has increased. And that's how you will be now, because as you are making an effect here, it automatically to be affecting what you'll be seeing there. Once you are done with this setting, with this dimension, which means we're already done with what we are setting, then we can press OK and press, then click on this Chesson and set it as current one. Once set it as current one, which means that anything you'll be dimensioning now, it will be using Chesson. It will be using the dimension line that you modified. Then we can press OK, close now. Then let me now create a box. Let me create a rectangle. I've created a rectangle now. Then as you can see, you see, let me try and explain something to you now. This is a white background, as you can see. And then you can see all this grid line. Yes, that. But let me up my green line so that you see what I'm saying to do clearly. You can see now, yes. Then now I need to dimension this rectangle now. And what I'm going to do now is that I click on this. See, since we are using the drafting orientation interface, you can see the linear dimension. Click on it. Once you click on it, then if you want to see other options, just click on this drop down. You can see the different types of this, the direction of the dimension. Then, but I'll be using linear. Then let me pick the first point and the second point. You see, it's showing that this is 17,158 millimeter. Then if you can see now the changing that we made when we are doing the setting, then what we are not going to say, you should see now thing has already made an impact. Then that's what you will now see. Then let me now say that let me go to the layer. Then under the layer, then let me click on layer property. Yes. Then let me just create a new layer dimension. Then let me click on the color and let me click blue. Okay, and then the type of line, let me choose this. Then here I think let me just use this one. Then I can close this. Then let me now select this now. Then let me give it a layer. You see? Can you see what I'm saying now? At the beginning, if we didn't create this layer at the beginning, and if we did, when we are trying to do this setting, we didn't put this thing as a layer, then if we have left it as a block, as we make the changes of this layer, it won't be changing, because we need to be changing it from here. But because we have already set everything as a layer, that's the reason why we are able, as we select on the what we want to change to layer, the thing change automatically by Excel. Then anything that if you go ahead and make a modification on the layer property, here, then it will automatically change this. Let me make you see, as you can see now. Let me choose red now. You see the thing changed by itself. You don't need to be stretching yourself a lot. It will maintain as you are changing it. It will be changing by itself. That's the purpose of selecting most of. If you are selecting your dimension, you ensure that you are using layer. Then if you see that this thing is too smaller, or is not that legible, I advise you to still go back to the setting. If you go back to the setting, click on Shenson again. Because I've already set it as a modifier, the current one. Just click on modify. Once you click on the modify, then come to the text. Once you come to the click on this symbol, this square symbol. Click on it. Increase it here. Increase it, maybe let me say 250. Apply. Once apply, close. Okay. See? So I've already made an effort, but you may not know, because it's not like the same thing the way it is before. It's not bigger than the before. Thank you for listening. I still remember my name. My name is Educ. Please, I'm begging you, kindly subscribe. If you are watching this thing, as you are watching it now, if you like it, just please subscribe and make a comment, because that's the more important thing concerning this thing. Thank you. See you the next time. Bye for now.